General Thorm's prayers and preparations must not be disturbed. The rooftop is off-limits to everyone.
Even you, Disciples Rel?
Everyone. Keep watch and ensure that nobody passes. Excellent timing, true soul. The goblins. Tell me how they suffered. No, better yet, show me.
Her mind enters yours abruptly, flickering across your memories in a blaze of excitement. Tongues of psychic flame lap at the memory of the goblins dying by your hand.
I see you like to handle underlings physically. So do I. For a while, but I get bored of people awfully quickly. Let's see if you can hold my interest.
She parts the folds of your mind again, touching your wants and hopes, tasting them. Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her exploration. She is searching for proof of your faith.
You long to be touched. A shame we're preparing for war, or I might find time for you. But all you truly need is the absolute. I have already been blessed to stand in her presence. It was bliss. She gave me everything I wanted. Why not? What's the point in power if you don't get to have a little fun every now and again? She gave me the power to cut the thread of life with a thought. But I can caress as well as cut. That's why you should stay on my good side. And the best way to do that is to serve General Thorm. I have a mission for you.
That's it. Play along. The closer you can get to the General, the closer you'll be to the answers you seek.
There is a relic that General Thorm requires. He sent his most trusted advisor, disciple Balthazar, to retrieve it. The relic is beneath the Thorm family mausoleum. That is where you will find Balthazar. But we have lost contact with him. Go there, aid Balthazar if you can, and bring the relic home. And I accompanied him. It was destroyed shortly after he left Moonrise. Hardly a surprise. We're protected here, but outside the shadows are hungry. Death would not silence Balthazar for long. But dead or alive, he is lost. Whatever has become of him, it is the relic that matters. It is something that General Thorm desires, and that he has ordered us to retrieve. That is all you need to know.
She's suddenly nervous, on edge. Talking about the relic makes her anxious.
I am in awe of the power the relic must hold to be of such importance. General Thorm will not leave Moonrise without it. Fine. Talk to the Bugbear Quartermaster. Tell him he's to share my secret stash with you. The shadows around the mausoleum are deep and hungry. You'll need a moon lantern to survive them. Take one from Balthazar's chambers. But don't pry. The last person who snooped into his secrets lost their head. I believe he uses it as a chamber pot. tower doesn't stink like an overstuffed cemetery. Which means Balthazar hasn't returned. So why are you here instead of out there looking for him? Oh, good. I love answering questions. What's that?
Say bye-bye.
The necromancer was experimenting on the tadpoles. But they were already imbued with Nethery's magic. So where did that magic come from?
A seat that has seen many occupants, none of their own volition, and none in comfort.
This night song sounds like the source of Ketheric's immortality.
That name. Not the first thing you'd think to call an artifact of the Absolute.
Its powers could prove useful, especially if turned against Ketheric himself.
First we need to find it. Something that valuable won't be sitting on a shelf somewhere.
Bet I can crack that open.
Carved into the bench's rotten surface is some kind of ritual circle, its sigils half faded. Darkness and decay hangs in the air around it.
A ritual circle. And a complex one at that. I've seen such a construction before in the writings of the Weave Pasha Raven, though his vision was not so tainted. Well, it wasn't in his published archives, it was merely a sketch. He invoked Mistra's guidance on how to complete it. That's quite a fascinating design, though the version created here is a strange corruption of the Weave Pasha's original intent. It's been mostly drained, but even now contains a powerful dose of shadow weave. The discarded pixie corpses might still contain enough essence. With one of the broken lantern casements... Yes, I think I'll be able to craft one more lantern. And with a slight modification of the casting gesture, it might be able to wield the shadows instead of repelling them. Though, Mistra's eyes may be upon me. She'd forbid me dabbling with such magic. She'd want it destroyed. Wasted, arguably.
Forget what Mistra wants. Think about yourself and what Lady Shah's power could do for you, Gale. Make the lantern. Spread her will.
Some room, then, if you please.
It doesn't take much. The sigils fade, the circle's tainted magic dissolving harmlessly into the ether.
Not bad for a wizard who slept through his Kalashite lessons, eh?
I spy with my little eye. Nothing of note, really.
Oh, I have the magic touch. No time for stargazing. More's the pity.
The corpse remains silent. The disc is formed from slate and engraved with Githyanki writing. The symbols are striking to look at, but you aren't sure what they mean. The disc from Crash Yelik was distinctly similar to this one. If you can match the symbols, you might find a legible pattern. You should take the disc to Lae'zel. She might know more about it.
Looks like the other. Another story about the Githyanki prince.
Quite thrilling to fight off such grim creatures as this region throws at us, especially being at your side. I once read a book that explained in some detail the effect a brush with danger has on one's desire for other forms of stimulation. Have you ever read anything on that subject? Only that I find you quite irresistible. Even illuminated by such rotten light as this place produces. Perhaps it's just the thrill of our near-undead experience talking. Standing at your side through such darkness and disrepair. It only makes me want you more. Unfortunately, this is neither the time nor the place to indulge such feelings, so we must be patient and push all such thoughts aside. For now. Was there anything else you wish to discuss? Alas, no. The charm Elminster granted me requires my death as the spark that will light the orb's fuse. Making myself invulnerable, immortal, or in any other fashion unkillable would render it useless. And gods only know what it might do to the orb itself. Still, I see no harm in learning what we can about this night song. And if we manage to find it, the harm will be all Ketheric's. So, well worth indulging our curiosity.
We're in the belly of the beast now. Try not to do anything too heroic.
Moonrise Towers. If this is indeed the very center of the Absolute schemes, then the source of our problem must be in here somewhere. He's trouble. Worse, he's a traitor. Whatever loyalty he had towards Lady Shah is long gone. It would please her greatly to see him meet his long overdue end, I'll wager.
you feel that? If I wasn't surrounded on all sides by the darkness of the Shadow-cursed lands, I'd think it was Mystra herself brushing against my skin. Not weak, but subtle. Mystra knows it is a risk to make herself known here, however briefly. After all, this cursed place is not hers, but Shah's. Mystra came here with a purpose. She's left some tiny part of herself to watch over me, I think. A boon to help us reach the heart of the Absolute in one piece. To detonate the orb, you mean? Might be onto something there. Though Mystra's intelligent enough not to resort to such overt manipulation. Perhaps I'm overthinking things. A blessing's a blessing, and this one should come in most useful.
Hey, True Soul. What's the word? Armies gathered outside. The General giving us marching orders. The Necromancer? The General won't leave one of his own behind. He might be the Absolute's chosen now, but he's still a soldier at heart.
It is not your time yet, Blessed One. The rooftop chapel is reserved for the General's private contemplation, save for those he chooses to ascend.
This must be the place. We have to get inside.
I'm sure you have done a great many things to get this far, True Soul. But above, you will stand in her very presence. Such an honor requires more.
Her words are diplomatic, but her face betrays her true feelings. Utter contempt for you and all your kind.
Disciple Zrel has given you a chance to earn that honor. I believe you will find your rightful place in her design. Either you will ascend, or you will fall. And I find use for even the fallen. I hope that is some comfort to you.
We should consider helping Minthara. She may be a useful person to owe us a favor. Shah's blessings upon you.
Ah, my favorite traveling companion. Cazador, sired 7 spawn. Me and my 6 brothers and sisters. He always insisted we were a family, even when he was carving scars into our flesh. I was one of his first. Some of the others came years later. He was a monster to us all, but did take special pleasure in my pain. He said my screams sounded sweetest. And now that I'm gone, I don't know. I pity the other 6.
Greetings.
The disc appears in your mind's eye. Lae'zel sees it too, and considers the vision.
Quite similar to the boy's slate from the creche. The tissue are enciphered, but I see the pattern. It's another story about Orpheus. I'll translate then. The Prince of the Comet, Part 3. The histories tell us that Commander Voss, Gestil Kithrak, pierced Prince Orpheus clean through with his sword of silver, that his flesh was torn and fed to the great red dragon Ephelemon. Vlaakith's faithful roar out this tale, but beneath the roars, we hear whispers carrying truth and prophecy. The Prince of the Comet is not dead. The Prince of the Comet will come again. The Prince of the Comet will liberate us from Vlaakith's tyranny. Praise be to Mother Gith, Queen of the One Sky. Praise be to your son, Orpheus, the true heir, Prince of the Comet. This is more than a fable. It's an affront to the undying Queen Vlaakith. Gith's son died to Voss's blade. Orpheus is no more. It is not just improbable, it is impossible. Kithrak Voss and his red dragon slayed the fell prince. You could no more resurrect him than you could glue together the pile of ashes he became. My Vash taught that the silver bells of Vlaakith's court still ring out before every hunt in celebration of the prince's defeat. As a child, I longed to hear them for myself, and sing in praises to the deathless queen and her Kithraki. Tiamat's emissary. It was he who carried word that Mother Gith had negotiated the gift of the dragons, and that Vlaakith the First would preside as queen of the Githyanki. Ephelemon remains the queen's consort to this day, as endless as the empire he now serves. Anything more?
In my years as the Blade, I've witnessed countless cruelties, faced unimaginable evil. But Thorm, he is made of pure hate. The Sword Coast will rejoice when the bastard's fallen. My father is somewhere in this tower. I won't leave him in Thorm's hands. And lest we forget, we've a devil to rescue. 2 missions, 1 destination.
Oh, hi.
Tell me, what can I do for you?
Thy wheel of fate turns ever to the dark. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
My favorite? Well, obviously I would. But you have so many in that case.
Blood. Now that would be a prize sample. Araja Blodra, trader in blood and the sanguineous arts. It is a pleasure to stand before a true soul and your pale companion. I'd like to offer my services, if you're willing. Please. You think someone in my line of work wouldn't recognize a vampire spawn when they see one? I trade in blood, and the potions that can be wrung from it. I'm more than happy to make you one, if you'd honor me with your blood. With one drop, I can brew a rather potent potion for you. The rest, I keep for myself. Research, naturally. A little experimentation, perhaps. I have an innate curiosity for all things sanguine. No idea, but it will be unique to you. Your blood essence and the Absolute's blessing intertwined. We can learn exactly what that means together, Just a little prick and it's all over. Close your eyes. There we are. All of your very best traits in a bottle. Use it well. Although perhaps there's one more thing we could discuss. Your vampiric friend.
Oh, don't worry. We're all friends under the Absolute. I won't bite.
Oh, I'd prefer if you did. I assume he belongs to you? I'm sure he really believes that. How utterly adorable. Do you have a name, Spawn?
Astarion, but hold on.
Good. Now, Astarion. I've dreamt of being bitten by a vampire since I was a young girl.
I'm sorry. You want to be bitten?
To feel your life's blood slipping away. To dance on the edge between life and death. Yes, I want it. I'll even compensate you. A potion of legendary power that forever increases the strength of the one who consumes it. It's not for sale, but it's yours if you bite me.
I will have to decline.
Excuse me? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you're squandering it.
I gave you my answer.
Can't you talk some sense into your obstinate charge? How very disappointing. That smells interesting.
Something slimy seems to be dripping from the rafters above.
A moment, true soul. You use a spoon to stir the soup, Barnabas. Forget the axe, my darling. Now, how can I help you? I've shown Barnabas a kinder way. A kinder name is only fitting. That is the gift the Absolute gave me when I stood before her. To rewrite the lives of her faithful. Make them believe there's something better. I have. It is one thing to hear her voice, quite another to feel the power she can grant. Observe. Barnabas, sweetie, come show what a good boy you are. What would you like him to do? The prayer, I think. Barnabas struggles with civilized speech, but he's been practicing.
You feel her will surge outwards and envelop the creature, inexorable as the tide.
Hearts. One soul.
No, Barnabas! We talked about this.
Like rope drawn taut beneath the blade, the connection simply snaps.
No. Barnabas, darling. No!
There's a parasite in that corpse.
All trace of restraint is gone. Barnabas has tasted blood, and wants more. To your surprise, instead of ravishing you, he grovels with a howl of pining awe.
Lord! Many die.
Just a pinch of... is this hallucinogenic?
Yes, it did. You hear her?
Of many hearts, one soul. Of many thoughts, one mind. I'm bound for the war camp. I'm no fighter, but perhaps she sees something I do not.
prisoners, aren't they? Any one of them could be elevated to true soul, should they accept the absolute.
Ugh. Then I shall have to keep them busy praying for mercy from other gods, won't I?
of spiders. I beseech
You were adored, Minthara. Brought up from the darkness and into the Absolute's light.
She cherished you, but it wasn't enough. You were distracted by your own desires.
Bloodlust, murder, chaos.
And most damning of all, an inability to follow orders.
I obeyed to the best of my ability!
And isn't that depressing?
You are nothing.
The drow reaches out to you psychically, connecting with you for a moment. She is infected like you, and her mind is disintegrating.
Come to observe, true soul. She is a lesson. None can rise so high that they cannot fall again. We are erasing her. Yes, your authority is great. We can learn, watching you break what little remains of her mind.
Immediately, your mind is swept into a greater vortex. A psionic storm with Minthara at its center.
Cannot hide. Submit. Embrace.
Her torturers are not dominating her. They are destroying her mental defenses and exposing her to something else. The Absolute. Navigating the storm, you reach the nexus of her mind. It is a wound, bleeding raw emotion and shattered memories. But she senses your arrival.
So it is you who will end me. Make it swift, then. Anything to silence that thing. That voice. But first, let's make these bastards bleed!
Her mind fills with warmth, and she gently releases you.
Impossible. She was broken.
Mistra Rill.
Take this!
Need to act fast.
Guide your day.
I expected to be greeted as a hero. But the wretches imprisoned me and tried to tear my mind apart. I didn't think anyone would come for me. Agreed. Lead the way.
Minthara is supposed to be in a cell. You have some explaining to do. You avoided a fight this time, but bullying your way out of Moonrise is a risky proposition.
You really do have a way with words.
Any one of them could be elevated to true soul.
Let me guess. The Absolute is the only way. Don't bother. Why don't you and Zevlor take a long walk off a short cliff?
He made it? He's all right?
Told you. He's too stubborn to die.
If you're not at the Absolute spec and core, why are you here?
Gnomes next door are up to something. They've been whispering like mad.
Whatever it is, we're in. Don't leave us in here.
Your conversation has been cut short. These prisoners are for Disciple Balthazar's attention only. Your association with Disciple Balthazar inspires respect and a touch of fear. You are free to speak to the prisoners.
You ordered that guard about as if you were the Absolute herself. What do you want with us, exactly? Huh. And why would you be so inclined? Barcus is out here? Didn't think he had the stones. Well, if he sent you, you're no slave to the Absolute. You're a damn wolf among sheep, aren't you? I reckon you and I were meant to meet. I'm Wilburn. We've got a plan. For us and the Tieflings both.
But we're scuppered without the right equipment. We need tools, that head case of a warden robbed ours, but anything that breaks rock will do. Even if it's not Iron Hand quality. Whatever you find, throw it through the bars. But for the love of Gerdor, make sure a guard doesn't see you, or we're both done for.
The stone, I feel it. Hollow behind the back wall, and beyond... water.
I'd bet my last copper there's a pier nearby.
This could be our chance, sir.
This is it!
Nothing will stand in my way.
Take this! Can't give up. Got to move.
Never a dull moment. Destroyer.
Good work. We're gonna wait until it's quiet and then bust out the back wall. We'll grab the tieflings along the way. We'll need them if it comes to a fight. You, however, are the clincher. Once we move, keep the patrols busy. If the bastards spot us, all of bloody Moonrise will come down on us. We'll move once it's quiet. Until then, be ready.
Go on. Move! The quicker, the better.
Roland better be all right.
It's Roland. He's probably holed up somewhere, planning to burst in hells ablaze and rescue us.
I bloody hope not. If he saves us, I'll never hear the end of it.